Hey! Hey! That sounded forced. Every single time I start a video, every single time, I always go, hey guys, and I always think that not only does that sound forced too, like it should be saying something else, but it's how everybody starts a video, unless they have some way of addressing the clump of people that watch their videos. I don't want to call you my clump of people, so I just say, hey guys. I could say, hey ladies, but not everybody likes being called a lady, and I don't know if you're a lady. Are you a lady? Do you act like a lady? Are you acting like a lady right now? I don't know. I said a while back that I could call you my biddies because it's bits and clips, but that's like a nosy old lady who peers at her neighbors. Isn't that what a biddy is? It's a cute way to call such a not nice thing. I might aspire to be a biddy someday. Yeah. Apparently I am, because I did the Loves and Lows tag and I made you guys all show me what's inside your houses, which, okay, I'm jumping off track here, but we're going to sidebar that. Ready? That excitement. Chuck it aside. This video is going to have a bunch of jump cuts because either Scarlett's waking up or I'm rambling about who knows what, and it's already going to be so long, so I'm sorry. But the point of this video, the reason why I need to sit down and have a chat at ya, is there's been so many things that have been building up in the past 10 videos and people's comments and stuff that I'm like, oh, I want to talk to them about that. So here we are, we're taking a little break and we're going to chat about everything. The number one thing that I want to talk about, I've got my prayer hands out about it, is I'm standing on a platform for something. I am taking a stand to educate the world about something. I feel truly, like, I actually do feel like this is something people need to understand and know about. And it's not Obamacare, because that's like real and means something. And do I ever talk about anything that's real and means something? Rarely. I talk about minutia and nonsense. So my minutia and nonsense platform, my political button, says Elephant Ears 2012. I was totally floored, seriously, at how many people had never heard of an elephant ear. I thought it was just going to be like, you know, the crazy Europeans with their fancy ways and like pommes frites and, you know, crumpets that wouldn't know about elephant ears. But so many of the American folk, y'all, don't know about it. What? I thought that every American had had one. Anybody who knew that, like, carnivals had corn dogs and funnel cakes and carnies with dirty, oversized or small hands. Are they supposed to have small hands or big hands? I think small hands. Small hands, big people. Since I heard fried dough, fried frite, is that what you called it? Something like that? On the East Coast? Something frite. And beaver tails, which is Canada. Y'all are funny up there in Canada. Y'all ya, because I'm American, but oh, that's cute. Beaver tails. You guys can stick with that one because it's an animal, so go ahead. And then what was the other one that people called them? If you called it fried dough, that's just no. You just, if your place calls it fried dough, wherever you live, you just forget that, and when you go up and order one, ask for an elephant ear. If they don't know what you're talking about, then it is your responsibility to educate them, because fried dough is not fun. It just makes you feel fat. But elephant ear sounds like entertainment, delight, and memories that you're making in that moment, if you ask me. People in my own world who I know, like Megan and Layla, she said she had never tried an elephant ear and never even heard of one. It's my goal now to show you all a really good elephant ear, because I apologize. The one that I showed you was a pitiful fool of an elephant ear. That little tiny, crusty, too much jam thing, no. It wasn't bigger than my plate. They shouldn't even give you a plate, because a plate cannot contain a true elephant ear. It should be shaped in the shape of an actual elephant's ear. Preferably African elephant, not Asian. They have different shaped ears. Look it up. Google. And it needs to have the right amount of jam, raspberry, not strawberry. That place did strawberry, those cheapskates. And then if you don't want jam, then we just do powdered sugar and cinnamon. Not too much cinnamon. Nobody wants to eat too much cinnamon. We're not doing the cinnamon challenge. We're just enjoying a pastry here. So it is my goal to sometime this summer find the perfect elephant ear, film it, show it to you, and describe it how it tastes so that you get a better understanding of what we all need to experience someday in our lives. And we are going to change the world and make everyone experience the delight of a childhood that is eating an elephant's ear. Am I done? Yes. And now I'll step down off my platform. Thank you. Okay, other things I wanted to talk about. That was weird, right? But back to reality. are the Loves and Loathes tag. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I realized when I was writing that down to talk about in here that in my Q&A 3 video, question and answer 3 video, I said that if I could be invisible with invisibility cloak, I would go into people's houses and see how they decorate. And you guys made that dream come true. I didn't realize that when I created the tag, but that's what I did. I went into everybody's house and got to see how they decorate. You couldn't see me. You didn't know what I was like. Maybe I was naked. I wasn't. I didn't watch that naked. We could turn this into a drinking game of how often I take things into the gutter without meaning to and then try and pick it back out and make it worse. So that was one. I don't have anything to drink. I'll spritz some perfume. Thank you guys for doing that. And the girl whose username reminds me of Calcutta but isn't, Katulka. I think so. That's what it is. Katulka 2. I'll link her Loves and Loathes right here. She showed the paper flowers that she had in her wedding, and it reminded me that I had paper flowers in my wedding, and the sun just came out, so I probably just got sunnier. Talking about my paper flowers, I like that. These are really pitiful because they are nearly 4 years old now, but I made bouquets of paper flowers to decorate my entire wedding. Oh my gosh, they're dusty. Sad. The honeymoon is over. Gosh. They are quite sad and droopy and haggard, unlike my marriage, which is happy and uplifting and still feels new. But I love them still, and I love that I could keep them forever, even though they don't look as great as they did. And everybody, when I was planning my wedding, everybody was like, you're not going to have real flowers at your wedding? And everybody tried to put me off of it, but I stood fast, and I'm really glad I did, because it totally showcased my personality in there. And I got to give away bouquets to like grandparents and people that helped with the wedding, and all the bridesmaids got to keep theirs. And now when we go visit family at like holidays and stuff, I always see a little bouquet tucked somewhere in their house, so I like that. These are in no shape to represent what they actually looked like. I recently made another bouquet for Elise, Crystal Miss Fine Petal's daughter. I made some for her first birthday. She put them on her spread of barbecued pulled pork goodness in the video. I will link that here. I feel like I should high-five you when I do that. And you can see better flowers there. Oh, I'll put a picture up right now. Martha Stewart has kits on how to do this, and she has special tissue paper in there. You need elasticity in the tissue paper or they rip. So, not that anybody would want a tutorial of how to make these things. They're looking pretty shabby. I want to do a wedding tag, and I'm going to try and get the pieces together for it soon. The reason I haven't yet, I talked about it on Facebook, but I have to get my wedding bin out from the attic, and that's Ryan's job. And he won't do it. I keep bugging him about it, but as soon as he does it, I will get on that. And then I want everybody to Red Robin Roundup do the wedding tag with me. Moving right along, let's talk about TV. Big Brother's going to be starting this summer, and I really like to watch shows with people, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of watch it with you guys. Does anybody watch Big Brother? If you haven't, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't get into that show, that's who I was a couple of seasons ago. I thought I would never get into that type of show, but then I watched a ton of them while I was having an insomnia bout, and I got way into it. I turned it on thinking, oh, this will be boring and I can fall asleep, and instead I watched like half the season that night. So the general idea is that it is a reality show, so it's got like, you know, the cattiness and the stupid people and all that stuff, which usually I don't handle that much of that well. But you add that to some really, really good strategy and a little bit of intelligence in there, like some good gameplay into the mix with, whoosh, look at that hand gesture, board game. So the people are basically in a living board game. They are the little pawns that have to move and try and get to the end. And just like Chutes and Ladders or any other board game, there are rewards and consequences. So for what they do, some of the rewards can be that they get money, or they get really good food, or they get like some luxury digs in their room where they get to sleep that night, which changes the gameplay between the people because other people are getting consequences. While someone's eating like lobster and steak, another person might be on this protein paste that they call slop for an entire week, and you know, they can trade different things together, and that all just plays off each other. Also, while some of the characters can absolutely hate each other, they have to know everything they can about each other, their histories, things they've said on the show, whether they're a super fan or anything like that, because at any point in the game they could be tested on each other. And it's just super fascinating to me. So I like board games. It's kind of like people who like to watch like poker tournaments or something. You can see everybody's hand. That's what Big Brother is. You get to see everybody's hand. Big Brother, the eye in the sky. There's another jump cut because here comes my mom. Hold please. Okay, next on the list is my nails. Can you see them? They're so shiny, and the color is called Macbeth's Dream. Megan got me this for my birthday. It's all natural nail lacquer, and it's way shinier than any of the other all natural nails that I've used before. I think it's going to chip quite easily on my middle finger. It's already starting to, and I just painted them yesterday. But I love the shine, so I'm really into the top coat that comes with it. Which leads me to, so thank you, Megan. Thank you. Which leads me to my next thing, which is I'm going to do a favorite things vlog. I get asked so often, like, what's my lip color that I wear all the time, or what's my favorite nail polish that I use since I always have my nails painted, or what do I like for Scarlet, or any of that. So I'm just going to do one video with a bunch of my favorites in it. Is that something you guys would want to see? Let me know. Okay, also, I have lots of vlogs that could be headed your way, but I don't want to over flood your subscription boxes. So realistically, not in flattery world of, you know, being wonderful the way that you guys are, but realistically, how many vlogs would you guys like to see from me? Like, in the next month or so, not on a regular basis. Would you want 3 a week? Is that too much? I wouldn't do more than that. 1 a week? Is that good? Because then you actually have time to watch it. Let me know realistically. What else do we have here? I did promise that I would do Scarlett's milestones and when she did what video, but as I was starting to make it, I started to feel like people might not appreciate it and think that I was bragging. I don't want it to be that way. I don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to brag. Scarlett didn't do everything super ahead of time. Some things she's just been right in the middle of, but most things she did do a little bit early, and it just felt weird when I started making the video talking about it. I don't know. So what I decided to do for the people who have been asking me about that video is you guys can ask me questions if you want to know what milestone she met when, and I'll make that into a video. Like, a bunch of people always ask me, when did she get into books? And I'll just answer that now. She always has been into them. Since she was 2 months old, she would sit and just flip through every page, and she just loves to read books. I think it's just part of her personality. But if you have questions about when we started solids, or when did she start pulling up on things, or when did she roll over, or any of that sort of questions, I will answer them in one style video. So you can ask those below too, okay? This is what her milestones look like. I've been writing them all down in this calendar because her baby book, I wanted to be able to write it really nicely, so I write them scribble fashion here whenever she would do something. So I have everything documented down to when her stranger danger started, when she started saying mama happily, not just whining, when she would point something on herself, like when we'd say, where's your nose? Instead of pointing at like my nose, she would point to her own nose. I have everything in here. Learn to clap. You can ask any of those questions. And the final thing is Facebook. I have over 400 friend requests on Facebook, and I cannot go through and add them. So if you are one of those people who's just sitting there, I am so sorry. If you are somebody who has sent me a message that says, you know, here's the reason why I watch you and here's what I'm about, which is what I need. I need every single person who wants to be added on Facebook needs to send me a message. Tell me a little bit about your family situation, whether you have kids or you're trying to have kids, or even if you're in high school, why you watch the vlogs, and who you are. Also, you have to have an established Facebook page. It cannot be like a cartoon picture or a picture of an animal or a sunset. I need to see people's faces and that you have a friends list. I don't want it to be just a fake page that's just been set up. And I also would really like that you interact with me, not just, you know, add me to your news feed but then never comment or anything. It's a community kind of thing, and I'd like to be able to chat with you guys. So that's what I ask of you. Sorry if that was a little bit of a downer to end on, but at least I'm taking a breath and ending my sentences. That's all I had. Business meeting over. There's probably going to be bloopers at the end of this. Bye-bye!